which operates the Metro, and Huw joins us live on BBC Newcastle now. Good morning, Huw.
Good morning, Alfie.
Presumably you're expecting a rise in passenger numbers, maybe slightly staggered?
Yes, I think that's true. We've seen a steady rise over the last few months, and I think that will continue. I don't think there's going to be a big jump, but it will be interesting to see what happens this week. Got about half as many people as normal using Metro at the moment, which is a big difference from the start of lockdown, but, you know, there's still a long way to go and plenty of room on trains.
And is the Metro ready for maybe a surge, especially of youngsters who are going back to school?
Yes, we obviously spent the last few months, and we talked to you about this before, but a lot of work into making sure Metro is COVID secure. Face masks and face coverings are really important, and we still see, more than 90% of passengers wearing them. That's probably as many as you could expect. And there's lots of guidance and signage at stations. I think if people haven't travelled on Metro for a long time and now they're going back to work, then they might be a bit nervous, but there's plenty of information online. And once you've taken that first step onto the system, it is safe and reliable and comfortable for people to use.
Are you back to a normal timetable, Huw?
We're a little short at the moment. We're trying to run the normal timetable, but people checking the website will see there are a few cancellations each day. We've been hit by coronavirus ourselves. In our case, not so much people having it. We weren't able to recruit and train drivers as fast as we would like. So we've got a bit of a shortage. That means a few cancellations. So it's worth checking the website, but basically a normal frequency during the day and even during the evening now.
And we've chatted about this as well, but just tell us how you make sure passengers follow the social distance and rules and who the onus is on.
Well, it's up to all of us in everything we do in life to be responsible, to be safe and make sure we're COVID secure. And of course, the most important thing you can do is wash your hands and sanitize regularly throughout the day and wear a face covering. Our staff are not there to enforce. We're not issuing fines if people don't wear face coverings. But what we found over the last few months is that passengers do it. They follow the advice. They're incredibly responsible. And of course, nowadays, we all need a face covering when we're going out and about because you need it to go into a shop or go into a restaurant or something. So we've all got them. It's just a case of putting them on.
What about social distancing must be your biggest challenge because your staff can't know whether kids are brothers and sisters or whether they're in bubbles or whether they're, been hanging about together or not.
On buses, we've been working with the bus companies, just moving away from Metro slightly, because that is really important. And if parents are thinking, well, my child's going to use public transport, what's it going to be like? We've got a very sophisticated plan to keep children separate from other passengers. And that will mean that you may find there's a special bus for school pupils following the regular bus behind if it's going to be busy, and you just get on that one, and that keeps kids safe from separate from adults. On Metro, of course, we can't send a following train. We've got as many trains as we have and really out there. But they're larger vehicles. There's much more scope to move around in them. So I think kids and adults can keep a reasonable degree of separation. But there's nothing we can do about, which year group you're in or whether you're in the same bubble of school. That's just
impossible.
Practical.
Yeah,
impossible.
What about face masks? If someone's forgot the face mask, what do you do about that?
If someone's honestly forgotten them, our staff at the key stations may have a replacement to just say, look, here you go, but remember it next time. We're not going to prevent somebody from travelling, but I would say you need a face covering whatever you're doing. Many schools have said, obviously, to pupils that they would like them to have face coverings when they're in the dinner hall or perhaps when they're moving between lessons. So we'll see. I mean, certainly on buses last week, with schools going back in Sunderland and North Tyneside and parts of Gateshead, the kids were wearing face coverings on the buses. They really were in big numbers. Hardly anyone was not doing so. So hopefully that will continue this week.
Very quickly, I don't know what kind of conversations you've had about this, but we've been talking to the MP for South Shields and been talking about local lockdowns and the spike in South Tyneside. Obviously, the Metro goes in and out of South Tyneside. What will be your situation then if there are local lockdowns?
So just like when there was the big lockdown in April, Metro will keep running. It will keep running because it needs to be there for essential workers, NHS workers, shop workers, cleaners. So it will keep going. Unless we're told otherwise specifically by Public Health England or the government. Obviously, the advice may change in an area if it's affected by lockdown, and we would oversee that through signage and putting extra staff on the stations. So if we were talking about South Shields, it might be the case that it's essential workers only on that part of the system, but the trains would keep going.
OK, Huw. Appreciate you joining us this morning. Huw Lewis there from Nexus, who obviously got a big operation there in the hands.